Okay, so we're going to be doing object components in Cinema 4D. So as always, we're going to make our shape. We're going to go over here. So let's say I'm getting a cube. I select my cube. As you know, here's where the coordinates where the cube is in space, rotations, and scale. And then we have our object tab, which basically talks about the dimensions of the object, the size, and it also adds segments right here. So segments are like edge loops. Now, I don't know if you forgot, but to see this shape with no wireframe, it's NA. To see it with wireframe, it's NB. And to see it transparent, it's NG. So NA, NB, NG. So I'll just do NB. Now, if you forget any of that, you just go over here to display. I can break off this menu. Oh, you can't see the shortcut. You can see it right here. So NA, only ones we'll really be using is NA, NB, and then NG. You can play with those if you want, but I don't really see too much of a use for them. You just need to see through your object, see your object without lines, see with the lines. Anyway, that's important because if we add these segments, so I'll just keep 2 right there. Keep 2 right there. If we want more segments, we can fillet these edges, which means like a bevel. We're just adding on extra edges right here. Yeah, I remember this issue I was showing y'all before. There's a dot on most of y'all's, like a little yellow dot. Mine doesn't have it. So I'm kind of guessing at this. But it has your dot right there. You can control it like this as well. Okay, but I'll take this off for now. So I have my shape here. I put the segments on. And so now let's go into the components. So we need to make this object editable, right? And to do that, we need to press this button over here. I mean, not that button, this one over here. It says make editable, or it has a shortcut that says C, right? So let's just press C and do it. Now, it looks the same, and you're probably wondering what happened to it. Well, if you look over here in our attribute editor, all it has is the shape's position or the geometry's position, the rotations, just like before, and the size, right? But those options for filleting and beveling the edges and all that and the edge loops, that's all gone now, right? But we can make those if we wanted to ourselves. But first, let's talk about how this is made. So we have components, we have these points right here. So a point on something else to select these points. Like right now I have this and it's like, man, I want to get one of these points. Yeah, I can select it like this, but also I can press 9 to get this live selection tool. So 9 will give you this. So now I can click on this and I'm getting my point. Now I just held down my left mouse button to get both of these points. Anyway, just let me get one right now. And remember the move tools, ERT, right? So wait, ERT. So I can take this point, move it. So I can move the point. I can't rotate the point because the point can't rotate on around nothing. And then scale, can't scale the point because it's just one point in space. What I can do is if I have 2 things, I can scale these in and out. I can't scale it this way because it's already like flush with each other. And this way I can't do that either. But I can rotate it. Okay. Cool. So that's points, an individual point in space. Now we have edges. Now, an edge is just 2 points connected. I press E to move, so I can move this up and down, left and right. And I can rotate this because it's 2 points. And scale. I can scale this. No, I can't scale it up and down because, like I said, it's basically trying to scale it like this, which isn't going to do anything. Or go this way, same thing. It's completely even, but I can scale it from this direction. Cool.
Can you repeat real quick which button you press to make those individual edges editable?
Oh, the whole thing to make it editable, it's like this. So it's not an individual edge necessarily. So this is the object I just made and it's fresh, right? If I try to select edges, I can't select it here. Even if I press 9 and try to select it, it won't let me select it because it needs to be editable. So I go over here to make it editable. So I either click on this or press the letter C. So I'll just press the letter C. Now, when I go to my points, I can highlight my points. Now, if I click on edges, I can get an edge right here. So basically you have to make the shape, then you have to press C to put it into editable mode. And then, we can grab our edges and our points and our faces.
Gotcha.
All right.
One more thing. Can you go over how you made the segments?
The segments?
Yeah. Or how do you know what I mean? How your shape
Um,
divided on the right.
You mean when I did this right here? So you make the shape and you go over to this object tab and you go like this.
Okay. Thanks.
So when you first make the shape, yeah, that's what you do. But we can also add them in later, and that's what I'm going to go into as well. But if you know what you're going to make, it's good to set it up beforehand. If you know what you're going to make. But then again, we can also, like I said, make them up later on. So let me delete. Oh, check this out. Like right now, this is in editable mode, right? I mean, yeah. So it's like in the component mode, I'm selecting the edges. But let's say I want to select this whole thing. Like I just want to move this whole shape right here. So it's this one. Wait, yeah, it's 2, I think, right? Yeah, it is 2. Am I crazy? Oh no, I had the wrong one. Okay. So if I want to get this, I go over here and I select this, which is model mode, object mode. And so when it's in the object mode, we can move the whole shape. And then when it's in model mode, we can model. That's when we can go get the components. So if you want the whole thing, just click on this. And now we can move the whole object. All right. So I'll just delete these. Now let's go look at our last thing, right? So we have points, edges. Now we have faces. And as you can see, when I highlight my mouse, I put it over here, the faces are lighting up. Oh, and just so you know, Joshua, I'm holding down Alt and left mouse button to rotate, Alt middle mouse button to pan, and Alt right mouse button to zoom in and out. All right.
All right. Thank you.
And all shapes we're making are up here. So you just go over here and click on something. And there it is. Okay. You go over here into this object mode and delete these. All right, so the last one is faces. So faces are 4 points. So if I go to points, 1, 2, 3, 4 points, which are 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. Connected. Then we have this face. On the faces, same thing. I can move it out, move it in. So that's E. R, rotate. Rotate this. And when you rotate, you don't want to do what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like doing it just to show for for an example. But when you rotate, always have one of these bands highlighted so you can rotate correctly. Because if you start rotating like this, you're like, yeah, it's bent over. It's like, it's going to be in some wild shape that's doesn't really have much structure to it. So just go like this and rotate like this. Okay. So those are our components. Oh, another thing is world space. Wait, that's not the one. This right here, coordinate system. Now this is what this means, because I went to some edges like this right here, and you can see how it's like, if I go to move, it can be like that in one instance. And then if I go like this, it'll be like this sometimes, right? And if you look at this right here, it's changing. So this means object, and this means world space, right? So what does this mean? If I go over here to a cylinder, I can move it up and down, right? And it makes sense because it's moving up and Y, down and Y. And it's moving on a, basically like a bullet, right? Now, if I press R and I rotate this, now I press E again, these arrows are, they're working in world space. Because if I press if I move it up and Y, it's just raising the whole object, right? It's not moving like a bullet would along this axis. Now, if I press W again, now it's moving in object space. So it's using the orientation of the object to determine its path, right? So Y for this is at this angle because this is the top of the object, right? So this is almost like let's think about it like a cup. It's like the top of the cups, so it makes sense, And then if I press W again, now I'm in world space, so it's moving according to the rules of the world. And what's the world? We look at this right here, X, Y, and Z. So X, no, wait, did I do it right? Oh, it's over here. X, Y is always up and down, and Z. So X and Y are always interchangeable, as you know, depending on how you're looking. So W, world space, moves along the object axis. Object space, sorry. W is world now. And also you see how far back I am? It's kind of like, whoa, where's everything? If I press S, I can zoom in on the object that I'm looking at, and I can just zoom out. So S or O. I think S is better. I don't know why. I think it's better. All right, so I wanted to show you all that just in case you all got into a situation where you're selecting an object. See, look, I'm trying to select it now. Let me press 9. I'll go over here to my object mode. Now I'm selecting this, my object. Now all I gotta do is press component. And now I can start working on it. So let's get the edge again.
Wait, really quick. You said press 9. Is that to select?
Yeah, 9 gives you this selection tool.
Okay.
So it'll be an arrow. Actually, now that you asked that, I don't know why the arrow comes up. Or what prompts it to come up. Is it this? Huh, that's interesting. I never thought about that. I guess because I've always just pressed 9 or, just worked. But sometimes it's just the arrow without the circle. Or without, it's not this live selection tool. So,
Okay.
well, I never really thought about that. But yeah, just go to 9. And also if you middle mouse button, you're gonna need a middle mouse button. I mean, not a middle mouse button. You're gonna need a mouse. So you hold down middle mouse button and we can make it larger. So if I want to, I can say, all right, I want these 3 and gets it all at once. But
Okay.
usually if I was going to do something like that, I'll go over here to rectangle selection. That's just what I prefer. So it works on all of them. Only thing with this program is, as opposed to other programs, is that if you select this and you see how I'm getting this face right here and this face, it'll highlight those. With Cinema 4D, you have to get the whole entire face within the selection for it to work. So if I want this face right here, I have to get the whole thing. And then you also have our lasso. So we can get it like this if we really want to, or I want this face. It takes a little used to getting it used, a little bit to get used to, but it's cool. Yep. So you just select the component, you can change it as you like.